Oh, welcome back. And oh yeah, I am marathoning Star Wars films. Which seems like a fun thing to do. I don't like marathoning, so it's not nearly as fun as you think. I should have started this marathon earlier. I did not realize it was going to be this tasking, so my bad. It was on me. I should have started this a while ago. But I'm here now. So I'm Mac from MacTheMovieGuy.com, and this is my review of Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi. I'm a blind film critic, so I've actually never seen this film with my eyes. This was after my vision loss, so I have no idea what this film looks like. This is my second time through it. I was even reminded of that because Disney Plus remembered that I had watched it before, and when I went to watch it again, I was in the middle of the credits. I was like, really? Really, Disney Plus? Because I swear this has been like 2 years, and you remember that I'm in the middle of the credits? Like, you didn't like think to restart maybe from the beginning? Okay, cool. But yeah, they knew I was. They were like, oh, finally, he wants to finish the credits. I was like, no, I don't want to finish the credits. I want to watch the damn movie again. But Last Jedi, spoilers, I guess. I'm just sort of, these films, they came out a while ago, and they were massive hits at the box office, so I just sort of feel like everybody knows what they are and who's in them and what happens. But I kind of started talking about Force Awakens, and I was like, maybe not everybody's seen this. I don't know. It was a huge film, but I didn't do like a spoiler warning. So I'm doing a spoiler warning up front on Last Jedi. You have been warned. I'm not filtering for this. Rey found Luke, and she's trying to convince him to go back because, you know, he's the last Jedi. He's not really, because we already know Rey can use the Force. And he's all like living. I guess he's trying to become Yoda. I don't know. Like, he's living on this island, and he like hunts fish, and he lives in this weird dome thing, and it felt very Yoda-ish. Whatever, however you want to say that. Even the presence of Chewbacca didn't really excite him too much. He was like, Chewie, all right, well, I'm done with that. Then he just sort of like begrudgingly, slowly ends up training Rey a little bit with the Force. She doesn't get nearly the level of training that Luke got or Anakin got at any point. She just sort of gets like the basic guidebook to being a Jedi. It's kind of a ripoff, which is one of the things I don't like about the film is that Luke is such an asshole in this film that he won't actually even prepare her for anything. He's so afraid that like if anybody becomes a Jedi that they're gonna immediately go to the dark side. It's like, well, you're not in the dark side, so you yourself are proving that to be a fallacy. So yeah, not even the promise of seeing Leia gets him off of his island. He just literally will not leave the far reaches of the galaxy. Which is why I understand a lot of people don't like this film. It's because of Luke. Because it's supposed to be Luke's grand return, and then Luke just kind of feels like the kind of role that you would give to somebody who was like handicapped. You know what I'm saying? And like couldn't do much, and they were tired, and you just needed to like have them in the film, but they couldn't really do much because they had like limited movement or something because they didn't go anywhere and do much of anything. That's sort of what this feels like to me. Is like, it feels like Mark Hamill was like, I mean, I'll do the film, but I've only got like a week available, and I can only shoot in this like one location, so you're just gonna have to make it work. And then Ryan Johnson was like, all right, I guess I will. Meanwhile, Finn picks up the most random and I know people don't like Rose for other reasons. I just don't like Rose because I felt like we were thrown Rose without like much character plot description, which is unusual for the second in a franchise. Every other character who's been introduced, like once the beginning of that trilogy has been we end up getting them a little bit more organically than we get. I know Rose, like her sister was the one, and that's supposed to be the introduction to Rose, but that's more the introduction to the other character. It would make more sense if that other character was Rose and she just never had a sister, you know? I don't know. I never felt anything for Rose. I just don't care about Rose in this film. I feel like she just takes up an unnecessary amount of time, and there is something to be said about her whole storyline with Finn. Just feels like a distraction. It feels like they're giving Finn something to do because he's a major character and he has to have something to do, but what he's doing does not feel as important as what some of the other characters are doing. Like, obviously we need Rey to get to a certain point with her Jedi training, so that we can get to the climax in the third in episode 9. Kylo is obviously going through some stuff, and trying to become his own man, his own leader, trying to not cry all the damn time, and trying to deal with the fact that he's got literally like the most annoying. Vader, let's be honest, Vader would have choked that dude out a long time ago. The annoying captain. I mean, like, it just in the original trilogy, there's like that one scene where he just like kills like one captain, and he's like, I accept your apology or whatever. And then he just like makes somebody else a captain, and that dude dies later. I mean, like, he just like cycles through captains. So there's no way that like Vader would have let this other guy, who's just a pain in the ass and is always obnoxious, live. I don't know why he's Domhnall Gleeson's character. I don't even bother to learn his name because I hate him so much. He's the toy that no kid will buy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're trying to buy your kid a Star Wars toy from the new franchise, and you go to the toy store and like all of the toys are bought out but him. He's the one, and like all of his their figurines are there. They've got like 2 shelves just of his toy, and nobody will buy him because no kid wants to play with him. He's just such an unlikable character, and the fact that he still has this much screen time in The Last Jedi, I'm like, how is he not dead? Like, how has Kylo not? What does Kylo stand to lose by killing him? Like, what does he have to keep him around for? It doesn't make any sense. So I'm not a fan of that character, not a fan of Rose. I guess Leia used the Force to exist in space. She was doing a really good job of holding her breath. I feel like every other space movie we've ever had, like if somebody drifts out into space, they pretty much die almost instantaneously. I think there's something about like the pressure also. It's not just the lack of oxygen. I think there's some pressure stuff going on there. So she managed to use the Force to fight all the other stuff. But she's also a ghost for like half the film, so maybe she was just a ghost in space. I don't know. And then Luke does that ridiculous astral projection thing, and then just like fades away. He just, I guess, chooses to kill himself. I don't know. I don't understand that, but I don't know what we were supposed to take away from that Luke could have, because he's like, I'm just out here like waiting to die. And it's like, dude, if you could have just astral projected yourself into Jedi heaven, why didn't you? Like, if you had the power to just make yourself disappear this whole time, why were you out there catching fish? Like, none of this makes any sense. And C-3PO and R2-D2 still have like nothing to do. Laura Dern's character is, I don't know why she's here. There's so many things in Last Jedi where it's just like, it doesn't feel like the natural progression of the story where the last ones did, where it felt like we were going from, God, even Attack of the Clones. I have to say, even though I hate it, it feels like the natural progression of the story. Empire Strikes Back feels like the natural progression of the story. This just kind of feels like we're gonna throw some more characters in, and we have 3 films, but we really only consciously thought about 2. So we got to put some stuff in the middle. And we're gonna put some cool action sequences and some Luke time, and that's about it. And it's just sort of a film. It doesn't feel like it's the kind of completed adventure that you would expect coming out of a Star Wars universe. I mean, there are some cool moments in here. There are some moments that pay off. When Finn gets to have his revenge against Captain Phasma or Phantom or Fanta. I know Star Wars fans are rolling their eyes. I don't know what her name is. I know who she played on Game of Thrones, but Finn had his revenge against Brianna of Tarth. I could say that. But I didn't care about her enough to memorize her name either. And the collector or the communicator, the code breaker. Yeah, I mean, there were so many like useless like new characters in this film that I couldn't even. I'm lucky I remembered Rose. I don't even remember Laura Dern's character's name. Like, I just remember her being there, and it's like, oh, okay, I guess you're here now. Yeah, I wanted more from Last Jedi. I agree with a lot of the fans on this, but is it terrible? No, because I've seen Attack of the Clones, so I know what terrible looks like. I know what actual like bad writing is. I know what bad acting looks like. And in this film, I didn't think there was bad acting. As a matter of fact, in my last review for Force Awakens, I kind of mentioned that John Boyega wasn't translating well for me in the first film. In the second film, he does. I thought he was more comfortable in his character, and his line readings and his dialogue got a lot better. So I didn't have any problems with any of the acting. The character choices were made by the script and the director. Like, all of the decisions to have them do one thing or do another, that's all just, that's just in the script. But the dialogue is fine. The action is fine. There are some good choices made here. It's just there are also some bad ones. There are some ones that I would not have made. And I feel like the film should have been more interesting. I think it would have been kind of cool to just not know that Luke was astral projecting himself from his island. I thought it was, kind of cool that he just was like a ghost. And we could have just like left it at that and been like, what happened to Luke? Instead of like it having this weird moment where he just disappears of his own free will without much explanation. And then they're like, I felt it, and it's like, wait, he could just do that? Did he just commit Jedi suicide? Is that what that was? Anyway, yeah, I do. Obviously, I am a little bit frustrated with The Last Jedi. I'm not going to lie. It's down there for me on the list of films as being not one of my favorite Star Wars films. But it's not Attack of the Clones. That is the most important thing I can say here, is that it's not Attack of the Clones. It's longer than it needs to be at 2 hours and 20 something minutes. It was definitely longer than it needed to be, considering I think most of this film is filler, wandering around trying to connect the dots between 7 and 9. We did not need that much time to connect the dots. This should have been the shortest film in the franchise. If you don't know what you're doing and you're filling time, don't fill it with more time. Just make a shorter film, and make it more interesting and more fast paced. That's it. That's a simple solution. But Audio description on this was fine. We got some new characters, but they're not really hard to describe. I mean, it's not like Rose is that difficult of a character to describe. Laura Dern's character, we got purple hair, like was like the biggest unique thing about her. So yeah, I mean, we just kind of we got some new alien creatures that they described well. There was the racing scene with those creatures and Rose and Finn, and that was done well. So I thought the audio description was fine. I just think the film doesn't really know where it's going. It feels like it's meandering, kind of like this review a little bit, but this review is inspired by the film. I meandered because The Last Jedi meanders. So this is Martin Bellamy just continuing on. So it's fine. The audio description's fine. If you were in a film before, that's the rule of Star Wars. If you were in a film before, you don't get audio description. You don't get the character description. However, if this is your first time in a film, you'll get character description. So, I'm done. I gotta move on and knock out Rise of Skywalker now. So I'm gonna give The Last Jedi a C+. There's stuff in here I like. I do like these characters. I love Rey, and Poe. Actually, Rey and Poe are two of my favorite Star Wars characters. So I never don't enjoy them being on camera. It's just sometimes they get put in situations where you're like, really? But I continue to think that Daisy Ridley and Oscar Isaac are doing just exceptional work in this franchise. So, great work from them. Adam Driver's fine. As Kylo Ren, I accept the fact that he's not Darth Vader. I know a lot of people don't, but I accept that. So let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You can check out MacMovieguy.com for more reviews. And as always, you can go to the Audio Description Project to find out what movies have audio description and where they are. This one's on Disney Plus. In case you didn't get my whole thing about how it started me in the credits. Disney Plus remembers if you didn't watch the credits, and they will punish you for it. Anyway, I guess I got one more. Rise of Skywalker coming soon. Stay tuned.